you think content is for likes. That's why you're broke. Content isn't expression, it's execution. And right now, you're unarmed. If you're ready to stop journaling and start cashing in, the content creation playbook below will weaponize your skill set. The link is in the description below. A lot of you think that content is just to appease your emotional feelings, or it's an escape route for you, instead of turning it into a content cash cow. There is about by 2030 there'll be $265 billion within the content creator space. You know how much money is being passed around? You could change so much about your life simply by cashing in on the content that you create, but you don't want to create it because you might be too lazy. I think the war is also internal, and that's why we talk about structure. But that's another story. Content is war, right? So point one, content is not expression, it's leverage. So one, here's you. You go on to the algorithm, right? This is you. And it's basically a mirror. You know that everything that you like is being fed into the algorithm, so the algorithm can find what the fuck it needs to give you or feed off of you with, right? So it puts other creators, other ads in front of you to extract more data. The longer you stay on a post, the more information you're giving it to say that, yes, I like this piece of content, right? So you're feeding the algorithm. So every post trains the algorithm to who you are. So not only are you not jumping into content creation because of whatever fears you have, but you're also then giving the algorithm all the information it needs on you to continue to feed off of you. Interesting, right? And so you have to understand this very simple formula. The content that you produce is either emotional discharge, which is a civilian reaction, or value transmission, which is strategic. And that also is in reverse. So the content that you consume, let's put consume here, also plays the same thing. Are you a civilian man looking for the emotional discharge? Or are you someone who looks for value as a transmission into the things that you need to get done for yourself in real life, right? Because if your timeline opens up and all you see is ass, funny content about life and how hard it is, fights like street brawls, content that doesn't really push you forward, your algorithm's fucked, which then means your internal state is fucked because you always tap in. And listen, if your screen time is high, that means a lot of the portion out of your day, you're going onto Instagram and you're giving data about yourself. So realistically, take that data that you're seeing, the algorithm and what it's feeding to you, and assess your own life. A lot of you have chaotic lives within yourself off of the content that you watch. It will tell you that your life is fucked up. If someone shows me their For You page, right, I'll be able to understand where they are at mentally. Why? Because the algorithm is extracting that data from you and then giving it back to you. So if you're really fucked up in life, think about it. Your algorithm is going to show you. And if you've realized that, oh shit, my algorithm's fucked up, all of it is surrounded by civilian emotional discharge, you need to change course and refresh your fucking For You page and start over and gain new habits. You can go through and binge all the fucking videos we've put out to do so. So if you're making content, you really want to build resonance through precision. I know exactly where you are at in life. Wherever you are in your journey, I know exactly where you're at. Hell, and when people above me assess my life, they know exactly where I'm at. Right? And that's why it's good to always have people in front of you, because they can tell you, okay, cool, this is what you might face. It's not guaranteed, but this is what you might face. Given the circumstances that you are in right now, I can predict where you might be. And it's not a hard, definite guarantee, but if you're looking to be like someone or live in that same realm, it's good to get somebody who's in front of you so they can hit you with the precision of how your life track is going. Again, these things aren't guaranteed, but they're easily, like entrepreneurs are bound to go through hardship. Why? Because you're living outside of a system and you have to figure out how to float and figure out how to maneuver. Other entrepreneurs understand what that journey is. So if you're looking to then become an entrepreneur, wouldn't it make sense to have a seasoned entrepreneur vet you and help you out on your journey? Of course it would. And therefore, the resonance is built through the precision of your messaging, not the personality. Fuck your personality. That comes second. Understand what your message is. Who is your target audience? Who are you trying to connect with? Right? I'm trying to connect with you as a weaker man. You know you have potential within you. You know you can become more. You know you can accelerate at content, but what? You're fearful. You don't want to because you're fearing the life change that you have to do. And you don't want to cash in on the money because you might be self-sabotaging on your potential because you don't want to put so much effort out and then potentially you fail and then you're left there feeling like I put all that effort out but got nothing out of it. Right? Well, guess what, bucko? It teaches you a lesson so that when you try again, attempt number 2, you get to the result that you were looking for or the checkpoint 10 times faster. And that's why I said structure. I always talk about structure first before cash flow because when you're going to attempt great things, it's not that you're going to always hit your goal or hit the check mark. Sometimes you are going to crash and burn, but it's the same crashing and burning that gives you the full understanding of how to do it the second time and improve the aircraft so that you can get there faster, more efficiently, right? With more power. And so you need an internal structure to know that even if you do fail, it's not true failure. It's just correction. A lot of you are in great positions in terms of life, but don't want to take that leap into knowing and dealing with yourself to then cash in on some of these values that you have or these skill sets that you have by means of content. Because realistically, if you're not making content in 2025, you will be broke in 2030 or be a slave to the system. You have to know that. So like right now is the perfect time, but also the hardest time because of the distractions that content comes with. Anyways, your personality comes secondary to the precise messaging that you have. This isn't marketing, it's warfare. If you want to build a brand, a structure that prints power and profit, join the mission. Free 15-minute call below. So point 2, structure is the real virality. Your content stack beats viral luck every fucking time. If you can build a viral, a content stack, right? Content calendar it out. Understand what you're going to do the first week, the second week, the third week, the fourth week. Know what's going on in that space, right? I know what I'm going to hit you with August for content. I have it all mapped out. Hell, I have it mapped out all the way until October, even into December and November and December. Why? Because I understand what stacking content does over time. You are building a compound worth of your own messaging that people will come in and binge. YouTube is one of the most profitable fucking places to be in regards of content. They pay you out the most. So like, let's be real. If you stack your content with the proper messaging with precision, right, you're always going to beat the guy who just goes viral with no real backing of message or is sporadic in the way that he operates in his content. Sometimes they go down. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're fucking sideways. And then he's looking for that one spurt to go off and go crazy. And then what? Attach his identity to this when that's not truly his mission? You see, virality has a thing to playing with your psyche, to thinking that once you get it, you should just become it. When that's not true, when rather, if you had built a content stack upon messages that actually worked and were precise, that you could continue growing and growing and growing and growing and nurturing your audience in a way that they understood themselves better than before, than if you were to fucking find a viral thing and just talk about that thing non-stop. Right? So framework 2. So 2, your framework equals your fortress. Right? So here's you with a framework that works. It builds up a wall against all of the bullshit that might try to penetrate it. Right? So you're putting a fortress around yourself with the content that you build nonstop, fortifying yourself in your brand as your brand. Right? So I know what Objective You is. I know what Unruly Creatives is. I know what the Golf Line is. Right? I know what Lower Elegance is. I know what all of these brands are because I've built a fortress of content around them, knowing that that is the brand. So some of you will try to monetize with your chaos instead of your message. So here you are, chaotic as fuck. Just like this guy who's looking for the viral hit. You don't know where exactly to land and stick. When realistically, if you had just stuck to a proper messaging system, you would be at the heights that you were looking for already. Right? Now, does that mean that there aren't tricks and ways to get to the viral point? Of course there are. Right? But you want to go viral when you have an understanding of your mission and of your messaging. towards your audience. If you just keep doing this random shit and then one pops off, you don't know who the fuck you are and who you talking to. And then you just, again, attach your identity to what? Chaos, instead of having a proper message with precision. And lastly, consistency is a key weapon. Chaos is masturbation. With this chaos that people make content around, they just follow the trends. They follow the virality. They want to be the fucking comedians with no actual comedic skill. They're trying shit, instead of really assessing who they are and then building their brand around who they are and expressing all their interests, because realistically nowadays you must show your interest, but it doesn't come before the messaging. You know who you're trying to target, and then you use your personality as a tool to push out your message. First thing is your fucking message. You must know what the fuck you're trying to get across to your audience. And while, yes, the audience is human, so therefore show them your personality, right? Like, I'm a wacky motherfucker when it comes into real life, but my mission comes first. But also, at the same time, this is a part of my personality. I am very hardcore. Why? Because I'm an entrepreneur. I know what the fuck it feels like. It's painful, right? But come second, my personality. And you have to understand that too. Allow your life path to showcase your values and your skills. Put a proper structure around it. Weaponize it through being consistent with your messaging over and over and over. Your brand then becomes that message, and then use your fucking personality to get into the hearts of other humans that follow you or the target audience that you're looking for. This chaotic shit is just masturbation. It feels good to say that I'm a content creator. It feels good to put out random content. It feels good to just post when I want to or create some sort of mythos that has no real strategic backing. You're just masturbating yourself. If you want to be seen as powerful, respected, and paid, you can't post like prey. You must post like a weapon. The scrolls will show you how. The link is in the description below. And third, you're not just competing, you're at war, right? So point one here is that, all of us have an audience that we're trying to reach. If we have an offer that is of value, we will print the cash that we're looking for, right? But if you are bleeding through the chaos of not having a structure, not being consistent, not understanding your precise messaging, not understanding yourself, you're going to bleed all of that opportunity of getting the cash flow. So understanding yourself requires a level of structure so that when it's time to take all of these, because realistically they're talents, values, and skills, to then put into an offer which equals the value, which you can sit in a value gap that people will pay you for. And that will print you cash. And all of that cash comes to you and your team. But you have no structure here. You sit here and you bleed out because you don't understand what the fuck it is to have a proper structure. You have to have an internal structure that then gets executed externally, that then the laws of the realm give you exactly what you want because you have a centralized goal, a centralized message, a centralized target audience that you're looking to impact. And then you get paid. But a lot of you just want to jump to getting paid with this chaos. And therefore, when this piece of content goes viral, you don't fucking get the cash that would have been given to you because you have no structure. So then a lot of you are chasing this viral, let me get viral, blah, 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 with no fucking structure to monetize. You don't even have an offer, my guy. You don't even have a proper clothing brand even, right? Because some of you then just do these, you go viral, and then it's so weird. You go viral, you have these drops, and while drops work, a lot of the drops will work that much better if you have a proper messaging behind it. So if you go viral and then you realize, okay, cool, let me attach my identity to this viral piece of content and let me put drops on certain dates because now people are following you for a specific reason. But now your drops are all about whatever you went viral for, or you're known for the things that you went viral for, if you have a chance to attach to your audience that much, right? And then all you do is create content while also then hoping for people to buy your drops, when instead you could just have a consistent posting system, right? calendar it all out, have a precise message. People resonate with the message. People resonate with the goal. You're feeling fulfillment, right? While also getting paid for it. Which one's better? Likes or fucking cash and a fucking community that actually believes in the things that you speak about. And now you feel fulfillment because you're helping people in their life. Come on now, right? You're bleeding. Masculine content is built to convert. The world is begging for masculine structure. I give my message and look to support men because men are the structure of this whole fucking realm. And it looks like we got this shit all fucked up, right? Feminine run from you. You have no abundance. You settle into all of your emotions. You run from hardship. Why? Because you have no structure. And the algorithm is just feeding off of that. You know how much BetterHelp fucking ads I see? And it just be getting worse over time, just straight bullshit. If you were to move and execute on the very life that you know you desire to live every single day, like your life depends on it, because it actually does, you would get there. And then what? You would produce such a great value to the world that maybe, just maybe, the fucking masculine structure would come back. You see what happens when men start to tap back into their purpose and provide their value to the world, whatever it is, that has to then be carved out of all the fucking distractions through pain? Yeah, I get it. I've been there. Comfortable playing video games all day to sedate the pain of the world. Well, get over it. You want the life that you want that life, you want that dream life to fly all over the world and give your value to the world and feel that fulfillment that comes with really speaking from a place of purpose. Then you have to act on your masculine structure. Women gravitate to you that much quicker, right? Abundance flows with no leaks. You think abundance is coming to the dude that has a bleeding system, has no fucking true structure? How the fuck could abundance sit in your structure that has holes all over the place? Understand yourself, bro, and what you're doing it for. You have to see this through. Don't just think about things that you want in the short term. Think about your long overarching life. Do you want children? And then ask yourself, why don't you have children already? And then some of you pin it to fucking cash flow. Well, hey, it's cash flow. Create it. Cash flow is abundant. And you know what abundance comes? When abundance comes when the masculine structure is prepared to wield it and hold it correctly. You want women to bow to you without having to say a fucking word? Masculine structure. You think women don't want to relax themselves? You think women don't want to let their hair down for once? You think women don't want to experience a man that their father told them that exists? But instead, you taking this bitch route of just feeling your emotions, taking a cop-out route. That's the life you want to live. And then you have to settle because you understood that, okay, cool. I understand where I want to be. I understand my goals, but I just don't feel like giving the effort. So let me just settle. Settle for the fucking 4 who argues with you. Don't even suck your dick good. Got teeth marks all over your shit. Fuck is wrong with you? Settling for a job that pays you the minimum wage or whatever the fuck you make. When the ceiling to this life in this content is endless. There is no fucking ceiling. You can make whatever the fuck you want, but you have to understand your masculine structure to get started. Come on now. Your life is meant for way more than you could ever imagine. So creators who win sell structure, not stories. Now understand this very clear. All of us have a story. Every last one of us. And you see me talk about it all the time. But your story has to be put within a structure. I can only speak about my story to you because I understand what it is to the point where you are. But I've created a structure that got me out of that storyline. So that storyline becomes a part of my brand that is structured and structuralized to get the outcomes that I'm looking for, which is to help men along with establishments through content. A structure, an offer. That's what I sell. And the things that are within this are my story. A lot of you just try to sell the story part with no structure. You're chaotic still. Don't give a fuck where you are in life. Your life's hard. Good. You're a man. That's how it's supposed to be. What the fuck? You want to be a little boy for your whole life? Understand, we all been through trauma. We all been through hardship as men. But the men who actually excel and sell and make the fucking cash flow you see all the time fight through it regardless or not if it's working, right? At the time in which you start. We fight through it all. That is the life. And that's why I pick entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is almost the most freeing thing. But understand, if it's the most freeing thing, that means that you have to create the structure around your life. This is where freedom comes in. You want all this freedom, but you want no structure. Freedom is truly discipline. Discipline to have a structure that you can now sell and then give you the wings and enough cash flow to really enjoy your life for what it is. And to stay up in the air, hell, I'd like to enjoy the fucking ride up in the fucking sky. So you know what? Let me feel fulfilled while I do it. Some people have no fucking soul and they high as ass because they got all the fucking structure, but they haven't understood themselves. They're just selling bullshit. That's a whole different, that's an advanced level conversation. And we'll get there at some point. But stop selling your stories, structure it, put it into a full structure. Take your stories and put them into a structure and then sell the structure. By telling, well, with full conviction how to sell the structure by the stories that you've gone through. A lot of you have gone through some hard shit that is very valuable. You've learned a lot, whether you realized it or not, that other people would love to hear as you continue to push your product towards them to fill a gap, a value gap that they have in their life or in their business. And they'll pay you for that. And all of these stories will just help you with the sale, right? When I speak to a lot of you on the 15-minute call, it's about your stories, right? And the reason why you'll resonate with me is because I've lived exactly where you're at. Exactly the moment you're at. I can feel it. Right? Sell your story, but have a structure to monetize off of it. So your closing decree. You've been posting like a poet, soft, expressive, unseen. But poets don't get paid. Kings do. Arm your content, make it violent, and dominate the digital battlefield. Consider yourself warned.